Everybody, we're talking leg drive in the bench press, and we're going to hopefully expel some myths around that and reframe the idea of leg drive beyond just being an isolated portion of the bench press. Kyle, I think this will be best if we can get you on the bench to begin with. Leg drive is an incredibly important component of bench pressing. The reason for that is it improves energy transfer throughout your entire body. So if we can talk about leg drive in the with the stance of it being purely for energy transfer, we have to then look at what are the important qualities for energy transfer in the bench press, and that starts with global tension throughout your body, specifically throughout your spine. We've filmed a couple videos here recently about this, but we have to have a very rigid spine. We don't have to necessarily maximize our arch to create tension throughout the spine, but we have to have a somewhat uniform arch throughout the spine if we want to have any shot at producing good leg drive. Because if we don't do that, we won't be able to tension the hips properly. And if you don't tension the hips properly for your leg drive, you're going to end up pushing your hips off of the bench when you go to produce leg drive. Kyle, show them what that looks like.
Hips up.
Hips up. A lot of times people end up pushing their hips off of the bench when they try to produce leg drive, and that's our number one fault with it, outside of just not creating leg drive to begin with. So if you are somebody who feels like your hips don't stay on the bench when you use your legs, here are a few fixes for that. The first thing that we're going to do, and before I even start this, I want to say that there's a lot of different styles for a leg drive, and I'm going to propose the style that you should start with if you've never, if you don't have like a very preferred style, such as feet up or toes up rather, or heels up rather. God bless it. Legs wide, whatever. Kyle, get on the bench. This is turning into a Hurt Kyle video. Legs back, get them back as far as you can, heels down, push the heel down till Kyle's Achilles wants to tear. This one too. I'm not letting the right one off of the hook here, Kyle. Push the heel down. Ooh, that cracked.
You gotta get the face though.
Right there. Push this down. This is the tension that you need to create. All right. Good job, Kyle. I feel so much better. In that position, really what we were doing was trying to create maximal tension throughout Kyle's quads, and that's really important. We want to create maximal tension throughout the duration of the lift. Kyle felt that, I guarantee it.
That was tension, real life tension.
Leg drive is not an on or off thing in the bench press, and that's what we're trying to get at. It is a constant. Certainly you will have different feelings throughout the bench, such as when you're lowering the weight, you might feel like you're really like accepting the weight into your body really hard, kind of like a coiled spring. And as you reverse it, you might feel like you're really trying to push it, but your leg should always be on throughout the bench. If you find that you try to initiate leg drive only at the bottom of the bench, you're going to end up with really poor energy transfer throughout the duration of the bench press. So my stance is to get people's feet pointed as far forward as possible. Kyle, let's show them for real here. I prefer to start people toes forward. That's going to slightly bias hip internal rotation, which is going to create torque at the hip. I then want Kyle to press into external rotation and then try and do a leg extension as hard as he can through the bench. And that's exactly how we would set a beginner up to create leg drive in the bench press, but it only works if the global structure of the spine is tensioned adequately, because if it's not, you're either going to end up sliding down the bench or you're going to end up pushing your hips up. What do you think there, Kyle?
It's all good stuff. One of the main things I look for, a lot of people think they have leg drive, right? And there's a lot of different ways we can take this discussion, but I always talk about like an on and off. If I can adequately see on, off, like this here, I leg drive and then I reset, no tension. Leg drive, not even resetting, just relaxed. Leg drive, relax. Yeah. It's on and off. That's missing the tension that Brandon was talking about. If I set up, you may not even be able to see, if you're not a really trained eye, of feet in, like Brandon's talking about, tension of when that actual leg drive fully takes into place. Because the entire time it is a coiled spring. The tension that he talked about is there, ready to produce, ready to explode at all times, not here to here, here to here with every single repetition.
Yep, Brandon and Kyle signing out. I got a nice bioenergetic release in that video.
You did, actually.